DC here, guys and gals. Well, hope you are all well. It is Monday, and Monday this time will be Tag Day. Yes. So, as you can see, the weather's not too bad, and sitting outside in the garden, and we will start as usual with Jasmine's tag. Hi there, Jasmine, and do hope that you're well. And let's see what I can do with these questions. Okay, question one. What do you look forward? What do you look forward to? What do you look forward to eating when all day out, or when out all day? Well, I was going to say, if I answer as well as I'm able to read the first question, it'll take a while, won't it? What do I look forward to? Kind of depends where I am. If I am in Ireland on a vacation, then one thing that I will look forward to is going to a restaurant which we like. It's called Quinlan's, which is a fish restaurant. Actually, I think fishing will be the theme of this tag. And at that place, you can have, well, I like to have oysters when I go to Ireland. They're catch of the day, and great, with a red finger or eventually a Sauvignon Blanc. So, not Australia, New Zealand. And and at that restaurant, it's a fish restaurant. So you have every possible type of fish and chips. So actually, I think that if I was in Ireland and a day out and I was going to end up in that restaurant, that would be what it would be. Yes, oysters, and then something with fish. Okay, question two. Have you ever gone fishing? And if so, do you have a story to tell? I used to go fishing a lot when I was a young boy. And almost not at all since I live in Switzerland. Now, just for the record, it's not that nobody fishes in Switzerland, but as a young boy, yeah, we did have a fishing license, at least as teenagers. But that was it, we went to some store somewhere, got it, and that was it. Over here, oh my goodness, everything is complicated in those things. It's almost as if they got to teach you how to fish, and so on. And it's just too complicated. So we have fished a little bit here, but we've gone into fish farms to fish. I know, almost a scandal. But now the question was, have you gone fishing? Yes. Trolling, trout fishing. My brother was into fly fishing. I never really have, but I love fishing on a bank, on a river or a lake bank. And in the winter, ice fishing. Now the story, if I have a story to tell, let me see. Let's just get one. We would go ice fishing on, there was two lakes. One was called Lake Menframagog, which is a long lake which actually crossed into the United States. There was a border crossing. And the other one was called Lake Massawippi. If you notice, by the way, these are all native Indian names. So, when we would go to the one on Lake Massawippi, I would go with a work colleague, and we would. There would be a lot of snow there, and there would be no place to park the car. So we had shovels and things to, get the car out. So basically, we'd park the car. We'd more or less drive it into the ditch, and use the shovels and certain. Oops, lost my questions. Use a shovel and shovel our way out. So what we would do is we would go and we'd have this little kind of a drill. So we'd walk onto the snow onto the lake, which was usually covered with snow, and we'd have to we'd shovel away part of the place where we'd be fishing. We would sit on kind of like white pails, which and then we would drill through the hole in the lake, which was pretty thick, of course, and then we would have little fishing rods. It would be about that long, and we would bait them with minis, so live. Well, I don't know how live they were by then, but bait, and put that through the water, and we would pull up. Mostly it would be perch, but every now and then we get depending where we were, we'd even get a pike or something like that. That was hard. And then there was no reels on these things, so we would kind of like use the mini fishing rod and pull it up and kind of bring up the fish, which I guess was kind of, well, because of the cold water, I guess wouldn't give much of a fight unless it was a bigger one. And then we grab the fish, and we just basically throw it in between our legs into that pot which we were sitting on, and we'd have some warm or hot coffee in a thermos and spend the larger part of the day there. So with my friend, which we were there, and probably we shouldn't say this, but yeah, we always had a bottle of spirits with us, and sometimes you wonder how people drove back. Anyway, so that's one story. There could be a lot more. Okay, and like I say, we have to dig ourselves out to get the car going. Yeah. Okay, that was question 2. Question 3. Have you ever had chicken pox? I think I have, actually. When we were kids, we had those things. I mean, I never had measles, but I think we had chicken pox. And yeah, so the answer to that is I guess I did. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to answer much more on that one. Question 4. Do you have a funny story about you? Oh, goodness. Let me see. Some funny story about me. There have been stories where I've passed myself off for somebody else, and found it funny at first until you realize that the person was actually in trouble and I had passed myself off for him. That wasn't actually so funny at the time. It was after. Gee, a funny story about me. Am I a funny person? I do know that. Oh yeah, well, I mean, I guess this could be partially funny. When I was in high school, I had presented myself to be the head of, or the head of the school council. There was like school politics, and I remember giving a speech and telling off everybody how I would give free lunches and stuff like that. And I was asked later how I was going to do that, and I said, well, like a politician, I was lying. Yeah, that might be a funny story. Let me see. Oh, well, there was one. I was in a play once, and oh, no, I'll keep that one for another time. Another funny story. Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I do actually. I was at college, and we were doing a class which was Super 8 movies. Basically, we were doing movies, and so before YouTube, of course, but that's maybe where it came from. And it's even on YouTube. But there was a scene where the guy had to basically try. Had so many debts. He was going to try and end it all, but every time something happened and it didn't work. So we had went in to see the police and asked if he would run after me with his stick and they finally accepted, but we had to go into a hidden part of the yard and back, so they didn't pass off for police violence. And he managed to do, and he did that actually, and that was funny. And another bit in that same movie is that we went to a mortician and asked if I could lie down in one of the caskets and be filled that way. And this time he refused. He said, "Our caskets are for real dead people." Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's kind of a funny story. It's hard off the spot when you think of them. I mean, I know there's funny stories, other ones, but that's it. And question 5 and last. Do you focus on the future or the past? You know, both. I love looking in the past. I think it's a bit the same answer as Jasmine, is the past is full of memories, which I love looking on, but I do love focusing on the future and things that can be done with the family, and the good times that can be done with the family. Yeah. So, you know, pretty much both. Yes, it's hard for me to say one or the other. It's pretty much both. And is that about it? It is, and I'm up to 11 minutes, so I should stop there. That'll be it. Thank you, Jasmine, once again. Fun questions. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.